Welcome back to the stormy manor of Flash, the Sibling Rivalry Podcast. I am your decrepit host, Night Hoot, and with me, as always, is
Tis the proprietor of virtual reality. No, I don't know.
not according to Apple.
Yeah, no. I will never own one of those things. Promise you.
Is it because it's $3,500?
That's
Is that why you'll never own it?
That's exactly why. I've never owned anything that was $3,500.
All right, so how do we get a bunch of old people homes to invest in? Well, no, let me take that back.
Old
How do we get a
homes?
bunch of elderly people who live independently
Okay.
to invest in these VRs so that in a few years, when the yard sale is happening, we can get them real cheap?
The yard sale.
How do we do that?
Convince mom to buy one.
Can we get a grant to get old people invested in tech, and then that's we bring them into the virtual universe.
That just sounds like a lot of frustration.
Because you know how they're talking about like the virtual workspaces.
Yeah. The metaverse.
First of all, can we talk
the
about
collaboration
how I hate...
features
No.
push? Oh, okay.
I hate the let's pretend we're sitting at a
Next
desk
to each other. Yeah.
Just make the whole screen your screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't put me in a virtual body in front of a fake desk. Like, just put me in.
You got to put the props
Microsoft
around
Word.
it. It's about the ambiance.
Like, I like that aspect of the Apple virtually, or I guess that would be AR technically, where
it's both,
like they have the screen. It's like Safari, but it's floating, and they're like all the windows have shadows. I accidentally watched an ad for it.
No, I'm pretty sure it does both. Like, because they have this little feature where it'll open up so you can see around you, and people can tell that you're not immersed. So that's like I feel like it has both. But fun fact about that. Right? Those aren't real eyes. Those are fake eyes.
I'm already picturing the short that you're gonna make from this. Where you show that part of the commercial.
The VR on with the fake eyeballs opening
like,
up.
Hello person in the room with me.
The ads are so goofy. They're
so
goofy.
Why is she's in like a white turtleneck, sleeveless. I'm like, they even make the people look like they're not of this
not real
world.
Yeah, like they're sterile, like AI, like the people are AI humans. They probably were. The whole commercial was probably AI generated humans.
Like, that's the one thing I'll give Nintendo credit for. Like, they always have like a realistic looking family sitting on a couch playing Switch.
Realistic looking.
Apple needs to. It's better than that Apple commercial.
No, that's a fact.
And PlayStation doesn't even like to pretend like there's humans.
People are they just show the games. games. Yeah, the Apple don't look mad synthesized.
But yeah, I thought that part of it was neat, where they're like, look, the windows take space in your room with you.
Yeah, no controller either. It doesn't have a controller, so you just.
So what were they tapping though? Because they were
just your fingers,
just your thumb.
Yeah, it's just your fingers together. So it's really like this type of thing that we see in like movies and stuff, where they're moving the interfaces around. They're like typing stuff in the air. Like, it's got potential. It's just way too expensive.
I might expand on this a little bit in our later section, because you just reminded me of an item on Amazon, active on Amazon, that I actually meant to send you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'll save that.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, what was it called? The WWDC?
Worldwide.
If you guys watched that, and all the stuff that we've missed over Memorial Day, because we did observe that holiday, you're welcome to email us at siblingrivalryclash@gmail.com. All one word, siblingrivalryclash@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us at srclash_pod. And once Elon Musk filters your tweet for appropriateness, we'll eventually get that. And then we can reply to it. Tiz totally missed my joke, but that's okay.
My bad. I was Googling. The audience heard it. My bad. You said something about Elon Musk.
I said once Elon filters out their tweets,
Oh,
we'll get the remainder and we'll try to reflect.
yeah. Once Elon purges the tweets, the bad tweets.
Once he purges the ones he doesn't like.
Elon's. I love when people say Elon's Twitter. Like it's like a like apocalyptic world.
There's a podcast ad that I am berated by on the daily.
Yeah.
That is literally about Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter, and it's just vocal clips of people being like, "I'm supposed to believe this man is a genius, and he ruined my job," and it's like,
oh no, that's upsetting.
We let a grubby hand TV show businessman run our country for 4 years.
Small hands too.
What do you guys expect?
Really?
What do you guys expect? I don't have high expectations of anybody anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's the Wild West out here. I'm just enjoying the show, whipping out my popcorn, watching things unfold.
The only person that can upset me at this point is like if there was like a TMZ video of Neil deGrasse Tyson like cussing somebody's mom out or something. That's the only way you could upset me.
I mean, you already know about his drama, right? Maybe I shouldn't ruin it for you.
What are you about to
I still
me?
like Neil. He hasn't been convicted of anything, but he's got a lot of like Me Too type allegations. But he's not been convicted of anything.
He is a gentleman of the era.
Yeah. But I still like Neil. I like Neil.
He is still an old black man.
Yeah, yeah. I always learn something when he talks.
So all right, am I gonna have to switch back over to Bill Nye? Like,
yeah, I don't think Bill Nye's done anything wrong. He just doesn't come outside. He doesn't like talk anymore.
No, he does stuff.
Oh, does he still do stuff?
He has he promotes shows and stuff.
Oh, okay,
I think he has a podcast.
Because like I don't actively go out of my way to find Neil, but he always comes on podcasts that I listen to. Like just random podcasts. He just pops up like, oh, time to learn about the stars.
People like talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always hear him in passing. It's funny.
But what'd you do in the time that we went missing?
So just a couple of things I want to touch on. So 2 anime games. One that's actually not out yet. It was a beta, but I'll talk about that one first. So My Hero Ultra Rumble. I think I covered that, or we covered that like a long time ago when it was first announced. This must be a while. Yeah, this is the My Hero Academia Battle Royale game. And it's literally that, like what it sounds like. It's like you play in a team of 3. You're on like a much smaller map, but it's the map from it's like the training area from the anime where they would do like the practice drills, and it had like the different environments where Shigaraki first attacked, if you remember from season 1. That's basically where the game takes place, and it's a bunch of teams of 3, and you're dropped in on the map, and it's kind of like a hybrid of like a shooter and an action game. So every character has like some projectile version of their quirk. Like Deku obviously does a little air shots. Bakugo does like shoots out like explosions. Shoto shoots out fire or whatever. And then they all have like basically 2 to 3 other abilities. So like Shoto can skate around on ice, make ice walls. All Might can like make tornadoes out of his punches, stuff like that. Tomura can like disintegrate buildings. There's a lot of destructibilities. That's another thing. And basically it's just like what you would think of like a regular battle royale. You go around, you kill people. There's loot boxes. The loot comes in the form of like ability power-ups. So like you can get like these level up cards and like build up your abilities to make them stronger and have different effects.
Okay. And
then you also have like health and shields like a regular battle royale. So essentially you just have all these things and you're with your team and you're kind of fighting it out to see who's going to win. And this game is actually going to be free to play when it comes out. It was pretty fun. I like how really quick the matches are. Like every match is no longer than 15 minutes. So it's not like some of the bigger battle royales where they're like 30, 45 minutes, sometimes even. So it's like fun. It's bite-sized. The netcode seems really good. So it wasn't like, there were problems like grouping together with your friends sometimes, like it would kick you back to the lobby, but once you're actually in a match, it was like smooth. It wasn't like laggy or like glitchy or anything like that.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, so that's a really good thing. But overall, I could see this like kind of starting like a small trend of like anime not fighting games, because like right now we pretty much only get anime fighting games. So I think this is like one of the first anime battle royale game I've ever seen. And it's pretty fun. Like I could see myself putting a decent amount of time into it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's pretty fun. And then staying on that topic, I played Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2, right? And I am 7 years late to this gym, right? This game feels like it was made for me. So it's basically if you take like the gameplay from like Kakarot, because you play Kakarot, or I would also say like Tenkaichi is like the same kind of third person, fly around, fight each other one-on-one type of gameplay.
Right.
Take that and mix it with like the systems of a game like Destiny, right? Or like a loot type game. So you have, first of all, create a character. You make your own Saiyan, Majin Buu race, Frieza race, Piccolo race, or human. You can just make your own one of these with all the features from all the characters from all the games. So that's like, first of all, you got me. Like, you let me make my own ninja from Naruto, my own Z fighter from Dragon Ball Z. Like, I'm playing the game. Like, I'm in. So I got my little Saiyan. His name's Chili. He has red hair. I tried to keep going with the vegetable theme. So his name's Chili. And then I made a Frieza character too called Chilled. So I was
ready for Frozone.
Yeah.
Frozone.
Froze was already a character, so I didn't want to use that.
Okay.
So I got Chili and Chilled. But basically you're in this world and you can play it two ways. There's online and offline, but there's also co-op and PvP, just like a game like Destiny. But you go in with your created character, and the whole thing is like you're running missions and you're running the story mode and you're unlocking skills, cosmetics, clothing, hairstyles, Super Saiyan forms, all of that stuff from everything from the DBZ and Super Universe. Nothing from GT in here, surprisingly, which is I thought that was kind of weird because they're like, okay, we're actually not talking about GT anymore.
But don't they wipe GT? Like, isn't GT
It's not canon anymore, yeah. But it's funny that the games like aren't even using their characters anymore. I'm like, GT was good. I'm like, I like GT. It's crazy.
Get that red monkey out of here.
Why do you hate that form so much?
I hate that red monkey form hybrid. It's so confusing.
The villains were so cool in GT. But no, so you're going through you're doing these missions to unlock this different stuff. There's a whole bunch of different types of missions. And like I said, there's a story mode too. And the gist of the story mode is you're a time patroller. So you're kind of running through the events of DBZ and Super, but there are these two villains that are like messing with things. So like instead of Captain Ginyu taking over Goku's body, he takes over Vegeta's body. And so now it's your job to go back to that period in time, fight whoever you got to fight to make things right the way they originally happened in the show.
Ew.
Yeah, it's mad goofy, but it's also like very anime at the same time.
Dragon Ball Time Cop.
Yeah, and Trunks is like the main, like he's like your guide to the time patroller world. So you just got this like peppy future Trunks just like telling you everything. It's very strange, but it's like fun at the same time. And essentially that's kind of what the loop is. Think of like a loot treadmill loop, and you're just kind of going in. You're doing either single player, co-op, or PvP missions, and you're just unlocking a bunch of different customizations. You're leveling up. It's got RPG stuff, so you're doing skill points. You're like making a build, so everybody saying can kind of be different and play different based on how you do that. So yeah, that game's just really fun. I'm always mad when I come into these games like this. Like I talked about the Shinobi Strikers game a while ago. I always find these games that I like were made for me like mad late, like when the game's literally about to die. So this game probably like it's been going on for a while and it's still getting supported. Like they just got Dragon Ball superhero content with like Beast Gohan 7 years later after the game came out, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'll definitely be on the lookout if they decide to make a Xenoverse 3, which I think they probably will at some point because this game did so well. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Diablo 4. So it is in early access right now. So I pre-ordered the game, so I got early access. And honestly, it's everything I'd want from a Diablo game. I've talked about it a lot before. It's open world now. It's open map, I should say. It's it's complete. So this is like the first ever complete live service game I've ever seen in my life, right? Like the game's out and it's finished, right? It's not like you get to the max level and there's nothing else to do. It's like there's all these activities in game. There's all these levels and cosmetics and stuff you can unlock without spending extra money. It's like just stuff that's in the game. There's a full PvP system in the game, which which got canceled from the last Diablo game, just never even got finished. So it really feels like Blizzard is taking all of the complaints about the last couple of games and like all of the complaints about this genre of game, like loot live service games in general, and they're just like, all right, guys, we don't want y'all to yell at us this time, so we're gonna actually take our time and put out a finished game. Very minor gripes, which is kind of a thing with every Blizzard game, is that the servers kind of aren't that great sometimes. Like on launch day, there was this issue, which is so ironic and funny, but there's this license issue, right? Where only PlayStation users could not sign in because it would act like you didn't have the license for the game. And you'll never guess what the fix for this was, right? And I don't know how familiar you are with Blizzard's history, but a lot of people look at them as like a greedy company. And the whole fallout with Diablo Immortal about how it costs like $100,000 to max out a character, all that type of stuff. So it's so funny and ironic that the fix for this license issue was the temporary fix was to go on to the store, the PlayStation store, buy any of the coin packs. So I just bought like the $2 one, and then it immediately let you in the game. And it's like people are like, yo, this is the definition of buy to play. Like
scummy.
It's disgusting. And I'm sure that wasn't like the intent, like actually what the issue was, but it's just funny that of all companies to have a server issue, the way to fix it is to spend some money, and then it just works. Like it just magically works. So that was the one thing. And then every once in a while, like the servers will kick you out and there will be login issues, but for the most part, it's been pretty smooth. And I've been able to even like play with friends and not get like disconnected all the time and not have like lag issues and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going through that grind, enjoying it, and yeah, it's a great game. So I'm very happy with it because it was like one of my most anticipated. But
1/3 of the world is obsessed with Diablo 4, and 2/3 of the world is obsessed with
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Like, I never thought that I like would hate hearing about a video game at work and it not be a first-person shooter.
Wait, so you're saying you usually hear about first-person shooters when they come out?
They talked about CS:GO on my old team constantly.
Really?
But it didn't bother me because I never knew what they were talking about anyway.
Yeah. But now it's like a franchise you love.
Well, yeah, now it's like all these people, you're just like, ugh. And it's like all the things that they're hyping are just such not Zelda
and things. You know what it is too? It's a lot, because this is my problem with it, and call it gatekeepy or whatever. But it's people coming into the franchise for the first time ever being like, this is what Zelda is. This is amazing. Oh my God. Like, fam, no, you weren't here. Like, you didn't come up from the bottom with us. Like, don't do that.
I love how
it's fine.
I love how you assume that I watched that video.
Which one?
The one that I sent you the title of. It's like Nintendo fixes the open world problem or finds
I just didn't know the context.
I'm like, but I'm like, that statement is ridiculous because I'm like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Who said that they fixed it?
The funny part is me reading that title like without context and knowing what Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom's fans are like. I'm thinking when they say the open world problem is that the problem was none of the other games were open world. You know what I'm saying? That was my first thought. I'm like, is this some new fan being like, oh, we should be good. We're still recording though.
Okay.
I'll just edit that part out.
Do you remember what you said?
I was saying I would be mad if it was titled Fixing the Open World Problem and they were actually being funny saying that the problem was that the other games weren't open world up until now.
Oh, and I was going to say that would be weird because why wouldn't they say that of Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I was just like, fixing the problem by giving you infinite solutions I is there even a problem anymore? I don't know.
Exactly. Like, what
Because
is
I'm
the
like,
problem?
I think I told you, I'm like, the one thing I saw that made me mad, it was like, it was some article talking about how to solve a specific, uh, in-game area where there's like, it's like a jail cell type situation with a chest inside. And
Yeah.
the only way to get inside is this hole that's like too tall for Link to climb into.
Yeah.
And so this one person was like, "Oh, I came up with this ingenious idea of like putting this thing here and magneting the box and like sliding
Yeah.
it up and out." And then he was like, another person just like put a ramp up
Yeah.
against the hole, and I
Yeah.
was like, "See, that takes the fun out of it for
Yeah.
me."
That's kind of
Like,
what it is too, from what I've seen too.
because I'm like, when it's like, yeah, you can do it the cheap way,
Yeah.
or you can do it the way that gets you 1.5 million YouTube views. Like, because
Exactly.
that's what I feel like it is.
That's what it is. Because have you seen, on that same note, have you seen the video titles or article titles where it's like players are solving every Tears of the Kingdom puzzle with a ramp?
Yeah, that's what I'm just
That's
like.
kind of what it is. You just glue a bunch of like planks or something together, and that fixes like 90% of the puzzles in the game.
And I didn't mean to completely sidetrack, but I'm just
No, it's
like,
fine.
I also hate seeing like it's either that or it's giant dicks. It's
Yeah.
big giant people just making giant flaming
Yeah.
penises, or
Murdering
it's
Koroks.
murder boxes.
Yep.
Yeah. How many different types of ways can I murder Koroks in some type of box I built?
Which the crazy part about that to me, and this is speaking more towards Nintendo, is they will take down a Breath of the any Nintendo game mod for that matter. It could be a mod that enhances the graphics, whatever. 4K graphics on Ocarina of Time, slap. Nintendo's taking that down instantly. But murder and torture Koroks in their E-rated game all day. Murder them, torture them, light them on fire, burn them at the stake.
Light them on fire
them
with
on
your
crosses.
flamethrower penis.
And that's cool. That's cool, right, Nintendo? But slap down players just trying to have...
crosses.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's all fine. Don't flag any of those videos, Nintendo, but let me mod one little bit of a game. Let me put a fake sword in a Zelda game, and the whole video is taken down. Copyright strike. Like...
Put a Mario costume in a Zelda game.
Copyright strike. Like, what are you doing, Nintendo? What are you doing? Like, what are y'all's priorities?
Only play with what we made.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand.
They're telling you, man. They're the movie theater that checks your bag.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Don't be bringing outside food. You buy our brand.
They're tyrants. They're dictators. Stalin Nintendo.
That's like Sony used to be with their peripherals.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
But yeah, so I'm just like the plague of Zelda videos in that nature. It's like the same way when Minecraft first got invented. It's the same thing.
This is Minecraft Zelda.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's it. And like I said, I'm not a fan of here's your bag of assets. Make your own thing.
fun.
Like,
yeah,
I'm not the kid
you.
that like I'm buying the Lego set.
Yep.
I'm not gonna just buy the bag of Legos
to just make whatever you want. 100%.
Yeah, like,
perfect analogy.
I just feel, and it's not a perfect analogy because Legos are meant to be creative, but I don't want, if I'm paying $70 like you mentioned.
Yep.
I don't want to be doing the job of the developer.
And the frame rate dips. The frame rate is not locked at 30 frames per second. I'm paying $70. Elden Ring is locked at 60 frames per second. 4K. I'm done.
Hear this, man. This, man.
Done. Nintendo will not be paying $70 until a Switch Pro comes out for anything.
That's very
I
true.
promise you. Rant over.
It's been stated here, but so that kind of segues great into my week because you mentioned crucified Aurochs, and
crazy segue.
In the time that we've been gone, I happened to see a trailer for Jesus, the video game. Have you seen this trailer?
I saw that.
Now, I'm not religious. I'm not really religious. But I'm kind of hyped for this game.
You're just going around helping people as Jesus? I saw that, yo.
Yo, I want Jesus his story presented from the purest perspective. I want a Link style Jesus where like you don't talk, everybody talk, and then
Talks
but
to
you're
you.
like you're making loaves,
Yeah, loaves of bread, water in
loaves
the
and
wine.
fish.
Yeah.
You take that first step across the water, you walk on it, and you're like,
Yup.
oh,
Everybody's in
jeez.
awe.
I don't know. I think that could be an interesting
Oh
game.
my, I mean, it's going to be. We're gonna learn. I think it's coming out for sure. Like, I don't see this one getting canceled. It's one of those weird, like, indie, like, Steam releases that's definitely coming out.
When you save at night, you gotta have like talks with your dad in your dreams. It's like you just hear God's with son. All right, I'm done. I'm done. But
No, I can't wait.
that was my favorite trailer I think I've seen
Yeah.
recently because I was just like, no
I,
way.
I want to say I first saw it at either an E3 or Gamescom or something like that. Like,
Oh, really?
it
I
was
just
in
saw
like
it
an
on
indie
YouTube.
recap, and I was like, what is this? Is this Jesus game?
We're getting creative.
This is funny.
But other than seeing that and watching some things, I played a game. I played a lot of a game. Um, I spent some time like trying different games and bouncing off of them. I tried a little bit of that Etrian Odyssey.
Oh, really?
Um, I wanted to ask if that was a game that you had ever played
I
when you
played
were
the
younger.
3DS version.
Okay,
A
because
little bit.
I was like, these totally feel like 3DS
That's
games.
a JRPG too. A JRPG. Like as JRPG as you can get.
Are we saying Japanese?
Yes.
Okay, because
I'm talking grinding, turn-based, mob grinding, mad numbers all over the place, like
make
JRPG.
the thing that sucked me in and hard bounced me off is that you have to make your own map.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, this looks cool. And then as I'm doing it, I'm like, this is
This is
monotonous
intense. Yeah.
and a lot.
Yep. Old games too. They're kind of older too. Yeah.
But the res up is
hmm
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything looks great in it. So I played that for like a teensy bit, and I was like, oh, I see what this is. This is a thick daddy.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stay. And there's three of these boys.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stay over here for
Oh
a
yeah.
minute. Um, but I ended up digging into Darkest Dungeon a bit. I know that's old, but Darkest Dungeon 2,
Yeah.
I think came out more recently. So
Yeah.
I'm interested in playing that, but I have trouble starting it later numbers than one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I had a lot of friends that talked about it. It's just when you come at me from the perspective of describing things in a Dark Souls manner,
hmm
it doesn't make me want to play the game. Because I go, life is hard. Why do I want to play a game that's also hard
Yeah.
and just be sad? But no, Darkest Dungeon is pretty interesting for me. It is challenging. Um, the one thing that I'm struggling with, because for those who haven't played, I'm not going into a giant description because it's a fairly old game, but
hmm
for those that haven't played, you have like a party of characters with different skill sets, and you're basically moving them from like room to room in a dungeon map, and you have various encounters that can either be positive or negative, and you're basically just trying to keep your team alive and finish out the quest
hmm
that you take on in the village that you're in. And one of the mechanics of the game, being that it's the darkest dungeon, is that your characters go insane over course of time of being in the dungeon too long.
Yeah.
Um, and so a lot of my characters are just like losing their shit while I'm trying to get. I'm like, guys, we got like one more room. Can
They
we
get
just keep it
diseases and
together?
stuff too, don't they?
Well, it's
Afflictions
that,
and
but no,
diseases.
mine's like the thing that I hate is like you're like walking along, and then it's
Yeah.
like your character's being tested, and then it like zooms in on one character, and they're like, "Ah!"
Oh my
And then
god.
it's like you have to wait because you're like, how are
What's
they
it
gonna
gonna
come
do?
out? And usually it's not great. And like my one was like it was like fearful. So like my medic was just scared as shit and
For the
kept
rest of
passing
the
on their
run?
turn.
Oh
They
my
just kept
god.
passing on their turn. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I need you to heal
Oh my god.
one time. Can we not freak out one time?
So it's just like
So
random modifiers just get put on your
yeah,
characters.
one was selfish. So like,
That's funny.
and it was funny because it was like a dude with a turban, and
Yeah.
he looks like he's
Money
got like a
hoarder.
dagger. So it's like you'll be walking in a hallway, and you normally have a choice of it's kind of like 2D, 3D. So there's planes,
Yeah.
and you're usually walking in the four plane, and you can see things in the plane behind you, and you can choose whether to interact with them or not.
Okay.
And like because my homeboy had the selfish trait, he just jumps on treasure. Doesn't even give me a chance to like decide if it's safe or not.
Just
And he's
pocket
just
it.
like, oh, treasure, and he just opens it and he like gets attacked. And you're like,
Sometimes it's a trap. Yeah,
that's what you get, bro.
that's
Chill out.
unfortunate.
But then I end up with a damaged person in my party.
Yeah,
You're like, so
you
yeah,
got to
and then
deal with that.
you gotta take them back to the village. Whether like sometimes I can finish the dungeon. A couple times I've had to retreat, and just because I didn't want my characters to die,
Yeah,
and so I brought them back. And you kind of have to you either throw them in the abbey for like prayer type stuff,
yeah.
meditation, or you throw them in like the bar so they can just drink and
Drink,
deal with it.
drink their pain away. That's fun.
But yeah, I at first I didn't quite understand the mechanics when I started playing it, but I'm taking it a little bit slower now. I'm
Okay.
probably taking it like one dungeon at a time, so I don't feel like I'm like just struggling.
Yeah.
And yeah, so far I'm not hating it.
Is it a story? Does it have a story or plot?
It
I guess.
loosely has a story. There's something in the beginning, and it's it kind of starts like our podcast, like it's like lightning, and he's like,
Yeah.
it's like some dude writing a letter, and he's like, "All family has fallen on hard
Like
times."
this is
And
why you're entering the dungeon.
yeah, you
Type
can
of thing.
watch it,
Okay.
type of thing. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, playing that, and then I've still been playing a lot of writing down.
Okay.
I've progressed in that a bit. I've opened up like 2 more dungeons, but that game is still hard. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Says the person who doesn't want to play hard games, playing all
I
hard
don't
games.
look.
all just because they're hard and turn based, they're still hard.
I went back because I've been watching part of a playthrough for RE4, and they're actually like I went with the mentality of like every time I got a new gun, I basically took the gun that had the higher base power and just upgraded that one because it was new. It's like new gun. But the playthrough I'm watching, they're taking the old strategy of just upgrading the Red 9 and
The
just
base gun
pushing
you
the
get at the beginning.
not the base gun.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
get the Red 9. You don't get the Red 9 until like a couple hours in to the remake.
But
It's
was
like
that like a
Luis
thing in
hands it to
4
you.
in like the
Yeah.
original game? Okay.
Yeah. So they're leveling up because that's the one you see where it's got the really thin barrel and the stupid looking stock on the back.
Oh yeah, like the German looking, like the
Yes.
not look
That
like a regular
gun,
gun.
yes.
Got you. Okay.
So people were taking the route of upgrading that gun. So I was like, when I go back through my playthrough, I probably want to do that. But I went back to Village because I was like, I know Village also has that third
DLC.
Yeah, it has that third player mod.
Yeah.
And then, holy crap, I put that on hard. I can't even get to a save.
Them werewolves, they're going crazy.
They are just eating me alive, and it's like
God.
two like hits, basically two times, and they'll get me down,
and you're dead.
And it's like I've really got to practice using that guard.
Oh, there is a guard in that game, isn't there? Yeah. Okay.
So I was totally gonna like play back up to where we lost that footage and just start from there. But I was like, oh my god, if I play this on hard, like this could actually be really hard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I gotta like get to a save and like live.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And that game too is a little slower, right, than 4. It's not as
in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just a
you're
kind
of just plotting.
You're not an assault guy.
Yeah. You don't have drop kicks and backflips and acrobatics like Leon.
But I was like, damn, I thought I did try hard mode in this, and I don't remember it being this hard.
Yeah.
Whoops. So we'll see how far that gets.
Whoops.
And then the other thing I started. So, here's what I'll mention. So something I'll bring up because we're talking TV right now. A show that I brought up before, probably brought it up last episode, is the show From.
Yes.
It was on Epix. It's now on MGM Plus. It's a streaming service show. So forgive me for those that don't have that service. But From is like the current running science fiction show, I would say, next to the other show I'll talk about in a little bit.
Also, it's getting, this will make you happy. I'm hearing it get talk outside of like people. There are people who I listen to who don't normally watch that type of show, and it's getting talk in those circles now too. So it feels like it's getting more popular, and more people are learning about it.
I'm basically like I'm about to be pushing Outer Range on someone else because I just checked yesterday and there's no confirmation of a season 2 for that yet.
Dang.
So I'm like trying to like make everybody watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, same with From. So From is like I think it's on like episode 7 right now in season 2, and it's really good. And something I wanted to note about the show that I have not heard. I've been Googling, I've been watching YouTube videos, I even listened to the podcast for the show. And those are, I think the podcast for the show are they're like actual TV writers.
Oh
So
wow.
they have some access to like, they do interviews with the cast and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm listening and I'm just like, no one has mentioned that every episode, if you go to the show on Apple TV and you look at the timestamps, every episode is 48 minutes. Just, I don't know if there's, it could be some seconds in there,
Yeah.
but they don't include that. They just say like this many minutes for each episode.
Yeah.
And I was like I saw it by accident one day and I was just like, wait, is that just the first season?
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, second season, every single episode is 48 minutes.
That's interesting.
And I'm like, because the funny part is that like when you think about TV shows, right, like of course there's commercials built in and stuff like that, so that's usually why times vary.
Yeah.
For streaming shows that's a little less prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
But it usually, and with these hour-long dramas, it's usually like, oh, if it's a really intense episode, it'll run a little bit longer, or if it's a boring episode, it'll be a little bit shorter.
Yep.
That happens with other Apple shows. I'm trying to think what the other I think it was C was the other show I was tracking on there. That is like 52, 56, 54.
I'd say most shows do that.
It varies.
Yeah.
Yeah, most shows vary. So I think I think there's some significance. And the reason I say that too is there was an episode last week's episode, and maybe one or two before, there were literal times where I was like, I feel like they're just wasting time, like
to drag it out to that timestamp.
No, not necessarily. Like it feels like the characters are wasting time, right? Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have that thought until later, where I was just like, are they trying to hit
the 48-minute
mark? But then it's like at the same time, if they have a lot of story, like how are they cramming it and still making it feel like it's not rushed type of thing? So I think it was just something I wanted to note, because I'm like, if no one else says it, we said it here first.
Exactly. We called it.
And that show is so, like, they're really going, well, one, I'll point out their podcast mentioned, like, they know that Lost is forever burned into people's, like, brains, as far as, like, you don't do that on TV anymore. Like, you don't do that to people if you want them to like your show.
Yeah.
And so they're really insistent on, I feel like, having the characters make it a part of the conversation that, like, are we dead? Is this like a time thing? Is this an experiment? Like right now we have one character who's like insistent, like he's almost like hard belief that they're in an experiment.
Yeah.
He just can't figure out. He's always walking around like this, and he's like, he just can't figure out how. Like he just can't figure out like where are the signs that I can point to someone and say this is an experiment.
I think that's misdirection. Like they want you as a viewer to think it's all of those things, so it can be none of those things when they reveal
100%, right? And then it's like the first season, they're writing on the walls, right, theories about what they think is happening, and like one of the first things is like, are we dead?
Yeah.
And it's like, I like this. Let's chuck this out, because I don't want it to be these obvious things.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, I've even thought like, yeah, it could be an experiment on like human stress, right? But then it's like, why are there ghosts?
Yeah.
I don't think ghosts would be a part of an experiment. I don't know.
Like how do you secure a ghost and like use it for your own purposes?
I mean, I guess they could be hallucinations, but then it's like they're not ghosts of people that the people there know. So it's like, it's not really like ghosts to torment them, because it's not people they know. They're just like, why are those people showing up all the time? So but yeah, we had a significant plot event last week, and then this most recent week was probably the angriest I've been all season.
Oh no.
Where like one character, because they were trying to do something and like one character was objecting to it, and he's like, no, and like it didn't make sense. Like he was playing the superstitious route of like, no, we can't do this because it's bad omen, blah blah, and it's like, we need hard facts and science, bro. Like we need to do things and investigate things in we can't just go, oh great, that's gone, let's just forget about it.
Just
It's
not
like,
worry
no,
about it,
we
yeah.
want to figure this out. Like,
Yeah.
it might be how we get out of this place. So,
Yeah. How mad would you be if it was just the village again?
I would laugh.
And there's just like a highway outside
I
the
would
town.
laugh.
Like a regular
I'm like,
freeway.
nobody's impaired.
Okay.
Because the only reason the village worked, right, is because that girl was
they
impaired.
couldn't go
but
out
nobody's,
or whatever.
They've tried.
Okay.
The perimeter loops.
Oh, okay.
They have tried.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Loops are always interesting.
Everybody sees the same tree that is down in the middle of the road.
I hope they're in limbo. I hope it's like, I don't know why I really like limbo.
See, that's
concepts.
I'm like, I don't think they're dead.
You don't
I don't
think
want
they're
it
dead?
to be that they're dead. I don't think they're dead. I think this Another planet? I don't think. Do we have time for what I think it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna say this is what I want it to be, right? This is maybe not necessarily what I think it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it ended last season with that voice on the radio being like, your wife's better stop digging that hole, Jim. And it's like, you get like a million questions because you're like, how do they know what they're doing? How can they see them?
Yeah.
How does he know Jim's name?
Yeah.
And so like, you're like, why is that the information that he shared? All this kind of stuff. So, and given the recent events that we've just seen in the show, part of me is like, what if this is like some kind of like weird ecosystem thing where like we think the monsters that they're running from right now are in charge, but they're not. And like, I'm thinking like, what if it's like a Predators type situation where they've put all these things on a planet because they want to like hunt it, type thing.
Yeah.
So like, what if but it also doesn't work because of what we learned recently. That kind of messes that up because we kind of learned that the monsters have some remnants of like being human.
Oh, so the monsters used to be human.
We think like they're guessing based on what we've seen.
Do you think they're just producing monsters? Like whatever humans are here in the village are eventually just the ones that turn into these creatures?
See, that's hard to say too, because all of the creatures that we see look like they're from a very specific time period. Like they all, except for like the very first one we see, all of them look like they're from like the 1950s.
Okay.
And I'm like, we know hard facts. A whole bunch of people have died, like within the last 50 years.
Yeah.
So where are all those people? Why are they not these things? Like, if they're like zombies, so to speak, or vampires, why are they not turning? Why did these people not turn? Like, all of those particular monsters look like they're from the 50s. It's very strange.
Okay.
And then, because one of my favorite ones is the Milkman.
That's the name of the monster?
No, he's a man he's like a milkman.
Oh, he's
dressed
dude.
like a milkman.
Okay.
Because they're just people. Like, they just look like people until they like attack you.
Yeah.
They just look like people walking around, and they walk at that really slow, menacing, like slower than Mr. X pace.
Yeah.
So you can outrun them, but like they're just be running forever.
Somewhere.
Maybe, yeah.
I thought they'd do the hard teleport.
Well, it's like, you run and like 5 more come out from in front of you.
But
nowhere. It's like, it's always the same one. And it's like, my favorite one is the Milkman, because he just looks so unassuming. He doesn't look scary at all.
Yeah.
He comes up like, hey, neighbor.
But it's like, if you see him and you know and you know about him, you better get up out of there.
Yeah, no. This season started with a bus full of people showing up, new people.
That sucks for those
people. And that night, the first night, did not go well.
Yeah.
Because half of the people would not come inside. They wanted to stay on the bus. They didn't. They wanted to leave.
Do they explain what the bus is or where the bus is from? Like, is it just like a?
Yeah, it was just a bus, but the bus saw the tree in the road.
Get here. Okay.
We still don't know what brings people here. We don't know where they're coming from. They figured out everybody's coming from a different place, but somehow ends up on the same road.
You know what it kind of sounds like?
What?
Silent Hill. Because the last 30 seconds of what you just said sounds just like how Silent Hill happens.
But again, that's death, right?
I kind of forget.
Silent Hill, I thought, well, at least I know that at least 2
it gets
was.
Weird. Yeah, it starts to get weird. There's like aliens involved. There's like
I remember
demons
that. But I
involved.
thought
It
that
gets
was
weird.
I thought that was like a fun, like one of the extra endings type thing.
I don't remember, to be honest. But I'm
yeah,
mainly just thinking about like the premise of, people end up in this village, just maybe they just take a detour, take the wrong turn, a car crashes and they end up here and now they're stuck there, they can't get out type of thing, and all this crazy stuff is happening.
I took it as like maybe people are being punished because in the beginning they show you a couple people that have shady past, but and then there's like the main family that you're kind of following, like you learn that they've lost a baby before they got here, and so you're like, are people being punished? But then there's a bunch of characters that don't really fit. Like there's a little kid, there's 2 little kids here. There's one little kid that grew up. He's the only survivor of the last massacre of the people. He couldn't have done anything wrong. So you're like, why is he here why would he be punished? It's like every single thing you try to fit over it, there's one outlier that messes up your frame.
Do you think it could be, and I know you haven't really played Bloodborne yet, but I think there's probably other stuff like this. But in Bloodborne, there's basically this concept of these eldritch, is that the word? Eldritch horrors, who are like ascended beyond any other plane of existence, and basically the entire world is made up from like their mindscape and their thoughts. And do you think it could be something like that, where some outer being is like just thinking all this?
Always would love for it to be Eldritch horror.
I love that stuff.
It's not something that we get a lot because I don't think people know how to portray it in medium.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's something that I've thought about, but I'm like, how to explain it until you watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
I even came out with like the theory that I'm like, what if these are just all allegories for like modern people? And I was like, Donna, the lady who's like, she's like the big white angry lady. I'm like, what if she's just a allegory for a Karen?
Could be, because we know video games do that stuff a lot. So I could see a show doing it.
Yeah,
definitely could
be. Yeah, I will be interested to hear your theories when you get there.
Yeah,
but I just want to throw that out there. If you're not watching From, it's like pretty high up on the list of Apple TV shows. I think it's like 1 or 2 right now, next to Silo. So I'll lead into Silo, which I always so watched. And this is not done yet. It's only in its first season. I think it has about 6 episodes out right now. I won't hype this as much as I did From, only because I feel like it's a lot slower. It's a little different pace. This is more of your Walking Dead type show. You're more post-apocalyptic, but it is taking an interesting twist. Now, this is the part I think Tiz might like. So there are some Main Abyss-esque things about this show that keep me intrigued. So the most basic description of this show is that there is a silo of 10,000 people. And they call it the silo because it's a cylindrical,
it's a big like dome looking
structure.
Yeah, I got you.
No, it's cylindrical, a silo.
Got you.
So it's like floors and floors and floors.
Got you.
So it's a gigantic like industrial silo with 10,000 people inside,
like a survival bunker type of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And they only ever refer to the period before they were in there as like the pre-rebellion or something like that. But no, they have been in there for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Okay, so it's like generations.
Yes. Wow. Nobody remembers what it's like to live on the surface.
Okay.
So much so that they don't even know what stars are.
Okay.
I just met a character. They were telling the sheriff, because they're doing this investigation. They were telling the sheriff there's a guy that sits in the cafeteria, because the cafeteria has like video projections, because supposedly the world on the surface is poisonous. And so when you get punished by being sent out of the silo, which is because they have this thing called the pact. If you break the pact, you get sent out of the silo. So you can get out. One of the things they have you do. So here's the shitty like bureaucracy political part of, they're like, well, we're gonna send you outside, and you have the option of cleaning the cameras for us, or you cannot and just die. But they give you like that last honor of like, you can help your society by cleaning the cameras so we can see,
which is
it gets
dangerous,
dirty.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be out there. You die.
You're
Like
probably
they
gonna
die
die
within
anyway.
minutes of being outside. Yeah,
Jesus
so
Christ.
every person they send them out there to clean the cameras essentially, and so it's like
Wait,
if someone
why
does,
did they die? Is it like irradiated, or is it
yeah,
like
it's like it's just
the air is toxic and stuff? Oh,
it's
okay.
so toxic. Yeah,
Got you.
they don't have any kind of filtration or
Breathers or
anything like
anything.
that.
Okay, got you, got
No.
you.
And so like so some people will clean the cameras, some people just go out there and die, whatever. And there's a whole nother mystery surrounding that. But
Yeah.
needless to say, they don't know what's going on outside. There's a dude who sits in the cafeteria every night and charts. He calls them, I chart the lights in the sky outside.
The stars.
And he
Yeah.
said he's like they're moving in a pattern. So it's
Yeah.
like they're just noticing these types of things. That's
Yeah.
how long they've been down there.
Wow.
And they subsist off like this one gigantic like turbine generator thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what our main character was in charge of. But there are the one they have like the one rule is like you can't say I want to go outside. If you say the words I want to go outside, you have to go outside.
Jesus Christ.
Because they take that mentality of like if you
don't
start
ask
that
questions
shit
about the outside. Yeah.
well not don't ask questions, it's just we can't go outside.
Yeah.
So if you start that shit it gets contagious of like I gotta get out,
Everybody,
out. So yeah, so they're like don't even start that shit or we're putting you outside.
Yeah. I feel that.
So it's like the show kind of starts with like one day the sheriff's wife is like she like screams at him I want to go out, and he's just like
why
he was
did
like
you say that?
don't fucking he was just like are you fucking kidding me, you just said that to me. And yeah, but she's convinced that outside is not poisonous.
Right.
So there's this whole thing going on that some of the people, for the most part, everybody's like aligned right together because it's like we gotta keep surviving.
Some people think it's a myth.
Some people think the sensors are a lie, right? And the tricky thing is like, so his wife goes outside and she's like, if it's good out here, I'll give you a sign. I'll clean the sensors. I'll give you a sign. She collapses. So then he decides he wants to go out.
Oh my
That's
God.
a whole thing because he's the beloved sheriff. Why are you going to go out,
Not
sheriff?
anymore.
So he goes outside. We see outside from his perspective. It's like a mother fluffing snuggle commercial. All right. It is so blue and so green and so floral. It doesn't make any sense. So for a second, we're in his helmet and you see this, and he's just like, what the hell? He's like, everybody's got to see this. Yeah. So he turns around and he cleans the camera, just like his wife did. Everybody inside applauds, but there's no radio connection, so he can't voice anything. So then he turns around, he takes his helmet off, and he passes out. So you're like, is the air causing them to hallucinate?
Or is it invisible beings outside snatching their souls as soon as they...
cracking your neck?
Yeah, like just a bunch of bird boxes just outside. But it's weird snatching your soul.
From inside the silo, it's brown
and raggedy.
Trees are dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ash, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, from his perspective, it was like Snuggle Land. So
that's interesting.
I'm very curious because now he found some things to be suspicious during his investigation because he was trying to figure out what was going on with his wife. Our new sheriff was connected to a guy who they think found something at the bottom of the silo because there is a restricted area underneath the silo where they actually found the digger that dug the hole in the first place. And they think that the people who initiated we can't pull the drill out because the whole silo's on top of it.
Yeah, it will fall.
So they just boarded it off.
Yeah.
So people sneak down there, steal parts, stuff like that. So she found it like that. And they think that her boyfriend, who was suspiciously murdered, found something below the digger.
That was a secret.
Yeah, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So there's like multiple conspiracies going on that would lead you to believe that maybe there's something going on outside the silo.
Yeah.
But it's all done like very interestingly because they're finding all these bits and they call them relics. And they're finding like things from the past, like they'll have like old watches and stuff. They have hard drives, and it's interesting to see these people viewing like what is essentially our world.
Yeah.
From the future, but it's like they're tech is very decrepit.
Yeah,
like
because it's just straps.
I don't even.
It's like
Yeah,
Fallout
like
type of feature.
I don't think they have computers and stuff. Like
Yeah.
everything's very mechanical and industrial.
I feel like with shows like this, when you have a civilization trapped inside of walls, there's always human life outside of the walls, like surviving in some way, like always. Probably. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, how did they get there? Yeah. Type of thing.
I think my favorite is Wayward Pines.
Is that same type of thing?
Kinda, sorta, kinda. That one's even more confusing. That's an M. Night Shyamalan bag.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, I finished Servant, but we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, so it's hard for me to recommend Silo, but I just wanted to give an overview of kind of what it is and like why I was semi interested in it. But I'm like, yeah, what's the crux? Like, there's an outside, and then what? Then they're probably gonna have a conflict about going inside or outside.
Yeah. Cross the ocean, murder all the Eldians.
I just don't see. There's no like
Marlians. I meant.
There's nothing mythical or eldritch.
Yeah.
that I've seen. So no mole people or anything interesting.
Mole people.
The chuds.
That would be cool.
Subterranean
humans. Super mutants.
That's where I am this week.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Real quick before we go into anime, I just want to get your like 2-minute opinion on, because you brought it up in text and I did want to ask you about it anyway, the PlayStation handheld that they announced.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to bring that up too before we.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear your opinion.
I mean, so
I love stupid tech. Like I owned the PS TV. I had a Vita. Like I love stupid tech.
Here's the irony and the problem. Sony cannot read the room whatsoever. Ever since the PlayStation Vita died, all people have been saying, and since the Switch came out, Sony should make a Vita 2. Like, the Vita had such potential, but it was ahead of its time. We didn't know. Make a Vita 2. So what does Sony do? They read all that feedback. They're like, the Switch is selling millions of copies every month, sometimes even outselling the PlayStation. We should get back into this handheld market, huh? And so somebody over there has the bright idea to say, hey, let's make a handheld. But not just any handheld. Let's make a handheld that only streams games from your PlayStation 5.
Let's make a Switch, so that it's a PlayStation U then. Yeah. It's not a PlayStation Switch, it's a PlayStation U.
Mind you, every single cell phone in the world already does this.
Shut up! I don't like... Who's the key market for this?
Forget I even
said
cell phone.
Who hate playing on my cell phone.
Forget I even said cell phone. Any device that has the PlayStation app can do this already. Your Vita can already do this. So we make a handheld that can only stream now, right? Doesn't do anything else. It doesn't play games natively. Oh,
I didn't read any. See, this is why I wanted you to talk.
It's not competing with the Steam Deck.
Just looked at it.
It's like they made like a PlayStation G Cloud, like the GeForce G Cloud or whatever it's called, that only streams games from your PC. This is what they're making, and they're like, this is what the people want. This is gonna kill the Switch when it comes out.
He's like, oh, what do people like about the Switch? They just want to be able to play the game remotely. Okay,
those cloud games.
Feature, then. Only that feature.
I heard that cloud version of Resident Evil 4 sold really well. We should make a console that only
cloud
does
version
that.
of Control.
Yeah,
doing numbers.
Let's make a console that only does that. Yo, these companies, man. I don't understand.
And see, I want to believe, like with Apple, I want to believe that ever since, let's say, like the Oculus or something came out, I want to believe that Apple's been like, we're just gonna like slowly tinker on this while everyone else like fails.
You know what Apple does,
and I want to believe they've been making this for like 15 years.
Absolutely, you know what Apple does. You know what they wait until everybody makes all the mistakes. Then they take all the best parts of their product and then they put it out and they say, hey, here's the one that works. Have fun. It's
here's your Google Eyes on you.
Yeah, that's what they did with the iPhone. That's what they did with all the iPhone features. That's what they did with the iPads. What they did with the MacBook.
Okay, so
Apple does.
I'll get the cheap version on the back end. Mm-hmm. That it's cheap and falls apart like the iPhones now.
No, they're gonna come out with they have the iPhone SE. They're gonna come out with the eye goggle, whatever it's called, SE. Like that's not premium, doesn't have 4K.
No, it's just gonna be it's gonna be Google Cardboard again.
Oh God, please don't.
Do you remember Google Card? I still have mine.
Horrible. Oh yeah, I forgot you bought that.
You're just gonna like slide your phone into your headset. That's
your
it.
iPhone into your headset. Oh my God.
That's the X's version.
Google really just stopped talking about that, John. Too. They just put it out and we're not gonna talk about that anymore.
It's like Google Glass too. That just died.
They just stopped talking about it. It's hilarious. But yeah, Sony's wilding. Sony's wilding. It's crazy.
So this isn't really news, but I sent you a link in our message that of an item that I came across that I was just in utter disbelief that it existed. First of all. And then second of all, I was like, okay, now that my brain accepts its existence, how the hell does this thing work?
Here, let me see if I can bring it up on the screen for the people.
Because there's a little video at the very, like, when they show you all the Amazon preview images or whatever, there's a little video that shows you how the thing operates. But I just wanted Tiz to see this because he's good at typing, and this is a device that is all about typing. Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, wearable keyboard. Okay.
So for those that are listening maybe and can't see this, right?
They can see it too. I got the picture up.
Oh, I meant for people who might be
audio.
listening on,
I got you.
Audio only. Yeah. So this is a device that you wear like across. It's on your thumb, and it's across your four fingers, and it's across your four fingers just at the base. So think of it like you're wearing rings on your thumb and all your fingers, and they're connected by like a rope.
This joint looks like somebody about to put this on, shake it, a fist pops out, you just start fighting crime. That's what this looks like.
This is the new peripheral for arms. No, I'm just kidding.
The Iron Man glove transforms around it. Call the rest of the suit, turn into Iron Man.
I wish it was that hype, bro. I wish it was So this device, this is called the Tap Strap, and it is essentially an air keyboard. It is a keyboardless keyboard. You can type just on any surface. Any surface that
this is accurate.
You can tap. Okay, so watch. This is why I say you must watch the video. So anyone who wants to look this up, again, it's the Tap Strap. It's on Amazon. Tap Strap 2, right actually. Turn the volume on mute. And so the gentleman in the video describes that you can, basically it's best used, I think they have you using it with like iPads and stuff like that. And you can like tap your fingers. This many fingers will swipe. You can click things by tapping your fingers together. But the most interesting thing is like he types full on sentences by just like tapping on the tabletop with one hand. He's like boop, 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 boop.
I see what this is now. Yeah,
he's moving only some of his fingers, and then part of me was like, is he like visualizing a keyboard in his head and remembering where the keys are, and it's actually like work? I was like, hold on, that's like too intelligent.
Yeah,
because I've seen those laser keyboards that project. And so there's a whole set of gestures for every letter of the alphabet and different punctuation.
Gestures?
And gestures as in tapping. So he's like, an H is like the four fingers. And then he'll be like, a T is the last two fingers. So he's tapping.
That's like learning sign language. You telling me I gotta learn sign language?
That's why I'm bringing this to. So I'm like, this man, like, it's an ingenious idea, but like, you gotta learn a whole like set of
user
functions.
Manual just got a whole language in it. You just gotta learn the entire alphabet over again.
But I'm like in four fingers.
Yeah, in four
or five fingers.
Yeah, this is nuts.
So I'm like, I want Tiz to like get in. I want to come over, and he's just like on the couch, like.
Oh my God!
And he's just typing.
This is crazy.
Click, 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 click. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Swipe, swipe.
And it's just one hand. Like you would think it would be both hands, but it's just one hand.
And then I was like, here's Minority Report, that movie. Yeah. I know you see. That's where he's like, he goes like Tom Cruise is like. Shoo. Swoop.
Oh yeah.
Swoop.
Yeah.
Swoop. They're like I was like, here's your Minority Report glove.
That's the future we're getting to be honest. This is crazy.
I was like, mix this with like a projection screen?
When was this invented?
I have no idea.
That's what I came across. That's what I want to know.
3.5 stars, by the way.
Yeah, I was looking at the review too. 754 ratings. Like, people really buying this.
Oh my gosh.
It works with projectors. It works with VR. Like,
it's just a keyboard, I guess. It's just a keyboard peripheral.
That's wild, yeah. So it's like Bluetooth, probably.
Yeah, I'm assuming it is.
Like a Bluetooth keyboard.
You can just sit and tap. You can tap on your leg.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is different.
So you could be like holding your phone in your left hand, and then like on your leg on your right hand, you just like tap 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 tap.
This would be amazing for like a blind person who needs to use a computer.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'm like, how do you check? They gotta like listen to check
audio,
what they're
all
typing.
the sounds. Yeah, when you open Microsoft Word, it's like Microsoft Word is now open, and you just use the key, just start typing. Reads it back to you. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah. How did you find this?
It just randomly, it came up on like my Google News thing. I was swiping through.
Oh my god!
But yeah,
intense.
I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, that's intense.
I just think because I was just like, how? Because when he does it so fluently in the video, and you're like, is it I was like, is it listening to him?
No,
like, how is it doing that?
He's just been practicing for 3 years of his life to learn taking courses.
He's been doing this every pitch meeting to get money for this thing. He's had to like wow people.
Every email, his whole life is just this tool.
And he looks like he should be selling you like gym equipment.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like the guy to be selling you a keyboard.
Yeah. God.
But
Amazon's
all
a
right,
wild place.
Do you have anything else that would fit in this area of the show?
Nah, that was it. I just mainly wanted to clown Sony for their bad decisions.
I mean, I just think that look too. It's like those pointy controllers with that
the
big
side of the DualSense
in the middle.
But you can just use a DualSense with.
But it's so pointier. Weird. Like they're pointier than a DualSense.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I look at
they look like icicles. They should call it the Sony Boomerang.
You know what's really scaring me about this stuff too? It's like, if the day comes where Sony craps the bed like how Xbox did with the Kinect, and all the good games and stuff just get put back on Xbox, my entire digital library is on PlayStation. Like, I'm too deep to switch back. Y'all can't be making mistakes like this.
Bro, you just gotta get all of them like I do. I tell you this all the time.
That stresses me out.
You have everything.
I told you.
You just have everything.
I've bought and returned 3 different Xboxes at 3 different periods of time because I thought I wanted it enough to buy it. And I bought it for a day or two, and I was like, I don't want this. Take it back. Trade it in. I need the money back. 3 different times in life I did that.
I watched a spider like this big just fully crawl into mine, and I was
into
like,
it.
Yeah, like into the vents, and I was like, "You live there now, because I don't know how to get you out."
He's probably still in there. Oh no!
It's like, good luck.
If you ever
turning it on,
he's getting fried.
I don't care. That's
fried.
his choice.
It's a sauna.
He chose to dive into those vents. Out of fear. But yeah, man. my dusty old Xbox. And the sad part is I will need a Series X soon, because I'm starting not to be able to run things on the Xbox One anymore, and that's
like
sad.
Games or like games.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's some game. I forget which game. There was a specific game that I can only run on my Windows 11, not on my Xbox One.
You could get a Series S though.
Yeah.
The smaller one.
I was thinking about one of those.
I thought about getting one of those, but I'm like, am I just gonna return it again? Because you use yours like a VCR.
Well, not really, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Like a VCR.
Yeah, like how it was when it first came out.
Like a cable box.
Yeah, look at the set-top box with this.
Yeah,
cool
that's what
HDMI
I'm saying. You
input.
could use yours like a set-top box.
What was that joke? Was it us that made that joke?
I play my Switch through my Xbox.
I was about to say that joke of like plug your PlayStation into your Xbox and play it.
There's a port back there, man. I've done it.
It's wild.
It's great for game capture.
That's valid. That's valid.
It's my workaround to an Elgato.
That's valid. Xgato. You got the Xgato.
Look at Xbox being my one system for
just
everything.
Like this big.
My one system to
and
play.
It's a heater in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? Just crank it on, put your hardest game on.
I hate
you. Oh man, that thing's so useful. Space heater. That's hilarious.
Evil black box.
Oh man.
See, now I have to keep this one because I don't know if the new one will fit. No, the Series S will fit on my shelf.
The S is smaller. Yeah, the S is smaller. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some anime.
That's funny. Oh, man.
All right. I did watch Hell's Paradise.
Yeah. Right before though, there's just one thing I want to say about Demon Slayer. Muichiro.
You can talk about it.
I can't without spoiling. Is
that ever a problem for me? I'm gonna watch. I always watch it like right after.
No, but this is big though.
All right.
But the only thing I want to say is I love Muichiro now. Like I just love Muichiro, the Miss Hashira.
Oh, like the flat deadpan boy.
He cranks the nonchalant up in this episode. Really? Like he's so nonchalant towards the demon he's fighting, and it's so funny because the demon just gets. So I can say this: he's fighting the pot dude, and you know how the pot dude is. Like he got mad.
Yeah, because that dude disrespected him. He just left him in a bubble.
Yeah, and you know how the pot dude was getting mad just because the blacksmith wasn't paying attention to him. Yeah. So Muichiro's being so nonchalant, and this dude is just furious, like raging mad, and Muichiro's just the whole time just like, I don't care that you're mad. He's like making fun of him, throwing jokes at him, like he's making faces at him. It's so funny. I love Muichiro. Muichiro is like top 3 Hashira now for me.
I was just waiting for my homegirl to show up. I'm like, damn, the whole
she shows up.
Season's gonna be over.
She shows up.
She shows up.
She shows up this episode. She does a lot of with her whip sword. She does a lot of that.
Was that your Spider-Man dance?
No, that's her whip sword. She's like twirling it, and she's like, you know those dancers that have like the string?
Yeah.
That's what she reminds me of. That's how she fights. It's very.
I just like to think that that's like that. Like if you were hanging out with Spider-Man, that's the dance y'all would come up with.
Why
I don't know why. Don't ask. Because it looks like you're swinging from a rope.
Oh my god.
It looks like you're dangling.
I don't have a lot of space. I didn't want to stand up, so I couldn't do the full effect. But you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she has the whip sword, right?
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of the green girl sword from Tower of God.
I still gotta rewatch that. Sword. I still gotta rewatch that, Joel.
Oh, okay.
It's in my distant memory.
The Green March, I think.
Yeah.
Is that what But anyway.
Yeah, that's all I want to say about that.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm trying to think if. No, I definitely didn't see that one because I always watch Hell's Paradise thinking that Demon Slayer is gonna be right after it.
I know. It's sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, but sorry, my thought will come back to me later.
No, you're good.
But yeah, that's all you want to mention.
Yeah, from that. Yeah, I love Muichiro.
Okay. No. So I did watch Hell's Paradise, and I don't know why. I think I'm mixing up manga or something because I'm like something in my brain is going. You watch something else, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, the Tensen?
Yeah.
Is that what we call those
the plant
monsters?
People? Yeah, the mortal plant people.
So they're hermits. That's what we learned this week. What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about how they're framing all of this? Because part of me is like, are these people who have been like they've made a contract where they're like, we're gonna protect this supernatural resource on this island, and
so like just we can have it,
but they have a boss. We learned that too. Okay, I'm just trying to remember because this show shows you so much crap.
A lot. So I think it's like the boss or whatever, they all came, however they all got to the island and found out about this secret in the first place. I'm guessing it was whoever the leader, like she was the big idea brains behind the whole thing. These people were, I'm sure, all humans at one point, and then they partook in this elixir. They probably don't all like each other that much, hence them being hermits, I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And I think, but they have this kind of pact where it's like, okay, I don't like you guys that much, but in order to be immortal forever, we'll preserve this secret just for us, and we'll kill everybody else. So they got now this little like club, immortality club going on this island. And not to jump.
They were all masters of their, I forget the word they used.
like
there was
their
a
fighting
word
style or something.
Yeah,
Something
there's a
like that.
special word they used to describe their discipline, but they were each masters of said said discipline, I think.
Yeah. Um, I don't remember if they said specifically what the orange hair one that we keep seeing that
Mm-mm.
Gabimaru fought this episode.
They just said that I'm assuming we're supposed to believe that's the weakest one
Oh, okay.
because of the way the rest of the group treated him.
Yeah.
I'm
That's true.
assuming
That's
we're supposed
true.
to
That's
think
a good
he's the
point.
weakest, and
Yeah.
I took that as like, wow, that fight was really hard for him, but that
Gabimaru,
guy's
yeah.
kind of a joke.
Yeah. I want to say, and not to jump ahead too far, but we can go backwards again too.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, and I should have took my own like thing where I keep saying, look at the front cover of the box art, and you're gonna know who's not gonna die, who's gonna be the main characters. And I thought they actually pulled a fast one and killed the blonde haired dude, but at the end of this episode, you see him get out of the sacrifice pit. So I'm like, oh,
The bandit.
Yeah, no, the other one.
Oh,
the Asaimon. Wait, was it the
really?
Which one was it? I just saw yellow hair. Maybe
okay.
I'm confused.
Because I was like, we did this last week where I was talking about the bandit, but you were talking about the Isamon. Okay,
I thought it was the Asaimon.
The Isamon and the Isamon with the long dark hair that's related to the bandit guy. They got thrown in the pit first because remember we saw them get like they got smacked, and then we were like, are they dead that fast? And then they climbed, like we saw them alive later, like they climbed out.
Yeah.
So I think that was him. I think our boy that like pledged himself to that child.
Yeah.
I think he's.
You think he's actually
done.
dead?
I think he's done.
Okay, so that might change my theory a little bit. But what I was gonna say was, whoever got out the pit, I think they're probably just straight up immortal now, or they might be straight up immortal now, and now they're gonna have Tenshin powers. And I think at some point Gabimaru is gonna figure out how to get Tenshin powers.
I think it's
that's
the
gonna be the
bandit
whole
king.
thing. You think that's the bandit?
I think because I think they're gonna, because I think they were saying like, they were saying don't, like, these humans are a little bit different than the other ones that we just defeated or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the bandit is gonna, because I feel like he was the farthest one in.
Yeah.
As far as like all the criminals that got dropped off, I feel like he was the first one charging in on everything. So like I feel like he was the farthest one in.
Do you think his brother's dead though? Because I don't remember seeing his brother at the end of this episode.
He could be underneath of him.
Still
though.
like below.
They were both alive when we thought they were dead before.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that they might be the first
to transcend or something,
or to at least cause more trouble for the Tenshin.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of where I think they're going with it. Is like there's gonna be this whole power dynamic involving the immortality, and they're gonna have to fight their way through these generals up to the leader. Like,
but it's like, how the hell do you? It's the same thing where I proposed with the X-Men, where it's like when you have all these reality bending Marvel bastards, who out realities. So I'm like, who out immortalities each other when two immortal people? It's like
JoJo, right?
Well, I was gonna say, is it like Gabimaru, where you literally just have to go faster than the regeneration?
Yeah, that's what, or I was gonna say it's like JoJo, where like Giorno, you just give him, he does something that awakens a power in him that's just beyond everything that's ever been seen already, right? Like,
well, I was like, that's just stupidity.
He just unlocks it. Yeah.
I'm gonna like instill you with so much life force that your life force shoots out of your body, and like you live in this timeless
undoes reality.
JoJo doesn't make sense after part 5. It's fine.
But like, imagine like Gabimaru, how he is as a base human. He's just imagine if he's immortal now. Now he's just OP. Like, you know.
I like that one part where, so we know now. I'll rewind just a tad and say we know now that the Tenzin kind of have like, we can say 2 forms, we can kind of say 3 forms. They kind of switch between genders when they switch between genders based on like their aggression, it seems like, and then they apparently have some kind of like ultra beast form, which is sick as hell. I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, now you're competing with Chainsaw Man for like sick designs. Yeah. Because I was like, I love this monster. I've never seen anything that looked like this.
I like the plant aesthetic.
Yeah, it looked like an evil version of what's the giant What's that giant like flower Pokemon that's wandering around in Pokemon Snap? I can't remember.
Carnivine?
Might be, yeah, but it looked
It's
like a
probably
giant
Carnivine.
evil version of like some type of Pokemon.
I'm looking up the character who crawled out of the hole too, by the way. I'm just fast forwarding through it because I'm just really curious now. But to
yeah, so
sorry, real quick.
no, go ahead.
I just want to say that also showed us that their immortality juice can run out.
Yeah, he had like a weird. Are you talking about like the decrepit form he takes
when he
after, or because he transformed?
When he transformed, it made it. He went back all decrepit, and then they basically just gave him some more. Like, here, refill. So it's like they can run out and die if they're pushed too hard.
Apparently, yeah. Because
so
So I guess we're to assume that like if they really take the fight seriously, or if they're really in trouble, they'll transform into that Ultra Beast form.
It's
which
like
I'm excited now to see all of them if they're all different.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, when he transforms to Ultra Beast and then he's fighting Gabimaru, and Gabimaru is really at his limit. Because the guy like Rasengan'd him 1,000 times prior to transforming.
He was already beat up a little bit.
I was so mad at Gabimaru because he's just standing there and the dude's like,
yeah.
And Gabimaru's like, what's that?
What you about to do?
What's that? What's that? And I'm like, bro, move. Like, he didn't try to move at all. He's
exactly.
Like,
get out of here.
But yeah, so he Rasengan's him 1,000 times, then he transforms, then he grabs him, and we're assuming he's about to eat him, but then Gabimaru does his Shonen Hero crap and like has this like kind of memory, kind of flashback where we learn that the village elder or the master that trained him basically is like, when you're at the edge of death,
take him out with you.
Get all the strength you can and like give your most powerful blow to try and take your enemy out with him. So, and he's like, don't worry, you won't even have to think about it. I trained you to do it.
Yeah,
and it's like you're over. Like, great.
Sacrifice myself. Yeah.
But he actually doesn't die because now this part I'm a little foggy on. I don't know if I blinked or like skipped forward, but that girl shows up at some point.
No. Yeah.
No,
the little girl. The
little girl.
Yeah.
Because I say that girl because I don't know her name.
I don't know her name either.
Yeah, she's like the little redheaded girl that did some kind of magic blast like a week or two ago.
And they know about her. The Tenzin knows about her. So I don't know if she's also immortal or if they're like.
And she seems to have the power that they have.
Yes.
Like Gabimaru senses the same energy from her as from, which would kind of feeds your theory, you know, that she could have also half lived in the pit or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And escaped or something.
Or ate a flower or some shit that grew out of the pit.
All right. So apparently that part's not even in this episode where the dude climbs out the pit. So I don't know what.
In the most recent one?
I thought it was that episode, but maybe I'm just tripping.
It might have been the one before. Or it might have been post credits. I think they do stuff post credit.
It's gonna bother me now. It really is.
I'm like 1,000% sure it's the bandit because the other guy wasn't even near the pit when he died, was he? Like he died, I thought.
Well, they went off screen. It didn't show him actually die. He was fighting, and then they escaped, and then it never showed him again.
Okay.
So that's what's weird about it.
Did we see him throw him into the pit?
We didn't see him. We didn't see him or the pit in the same scene, but we didn't see him like. We didn't see the light leave his eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Was he fighting the blonde-haired Tenzin?
He was fighting the same one. This same one that Gabimaru was fighting.
The red-haired one?
Yeah.
Then that definitely wasn't him.
Okay.
Because we saw the blonde-haired guy. Number one, we saw him throw him into the bandit into the pit.
Yeah.
And number two, when he in this most recent episode, when he comes back to the group of hermits, he says, "I beat him to near death and threw him in the pit."
Yeah.
So if it wasn't the red-haired guy, then it probably wasn't the guy you were talking about, right?
So if he said that though, the only dude we saw him beat to near death was the Simon, yellow-haired guy.
But that's what you said. The red-haired guy fought him.
I'm pretty sure.
The long blonde-haired hermit is the one who said he threw the guy in the pit.
Okay,
and that's why I was like, if he fought him, then we could believe that.
Got you.
But I was like, I don't remember him fighting that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only reason I don't believe it's him.
Yeah, I just saw blonde hair and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, we made
What?
that. I think we made that same mix up before.
Why'd they make their hair the same color? That's annoying.
I I want to say the bandit's hair is like a golden, and the uh other guys is more of like a platinum
Yeah.
blonde. But that's just me like guessing.
Yeah, I'm literally
I
not gonna
think
find it.
I think they're gonna take more interest in the storyline, but now between the little kid prince or the
Hmm.
princess or whatever you want to call her, the
Yeah.
little kid leader and the like blind guy. I think they're gonna be forced to
Okay.
like
With
work
the
together.
scars.
Yeah,
Got you.
like for the sake of that guy, maybe.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
just a
could see
guess.
that for sure.
But
I
yeah,
could definitely see that.
overall, I really am enjoying where this is going.
Oh yeah.
And who is charging the center of the island right now? That's not
Charging?
Gabimaru, right?
Yeah.
Somebody at the end of the episode, was that him? No,
Or
somebody was like heading directly
it
for the
was the
center, I thought.
samurai,
They
right?
were like,
The oh, they were running. Because we also see the samurai show up, the one who hasn't really fought yet, but he
yeah.
seems like he's really
Not
strong.
no, not somebody just no, because Gabimaru I know gets the resolve and he goes, okay, if I'm fighting that, like I need to get stronger. I
Yeah.
remember that. But somebody starts like heading directly towards the center, I thought.
Dang.
And I was like, oh, you're gonna get your shit kicked in. I can't remember who it
Yeah,
is.
I don't remember either. And
That
they
show
were
goes
they
by
were
so
running.
fast. I think so. I'll double check later, but
Okay.
that was I couldn't remember.
Hmm.
Um, trying to think anything else from that.
No, I think we covered pretty much all of it.
That that friggin' girl Shinobi is getting away with murder.
She's so sketchy. She's definitely betraying everybody at some point.
She's like getting to do nothing.
Yeah. She's chilling. Like she's chilling right now.
And then I'm gonna swiftly move over to Heavenly Delusion.
Okay. I'm a little behind because
Because
the dub got delayed. Sad.
well, I'm like again, I was like gonna yell at you
For what?
last week because first hold on, first Hulu did the thing that Crunchyroll used to do, I guess, where they separated the dubs and the original.
Oh, did they?
So one day I was watching the dub thinking it was like a language option
Yeah.
and I was just auto playing where I was, but I was actually like back.
Yeah.
And so I was watching one part going, how the hell did Ty bury the lead on this thing that happened? I was watching the sub version,
Yeah.
thinking that there was a dubbed version also, but I
Oh.
realize now that the dub hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
There's something that happened.
Oh, in the sub version, you're saying? Past where I'm at.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it may be like 1 or 2 episodes past where you were at. Because I literally was about to be like, nothing happened, huh? Nothing? Are you blind? There's some weird shit happening, bro.
I'm trying to think.
I was going to call you and be like, you're terrible at recaps.
It's definitely after where I
It's
said
definitely
I was
after.
Okay.
Yeah, because I realized now, like I literally like exited out and was like, why are my episodes out of sync? Like,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, now I see it's a whole separate option that I have to like click out of.
Got you.
So they weren't tracking my episodes between the sub and the dub. But yeah, now I'm realizing like it must be like 3 episodes ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I
or
think
something
it is.
like
Yeah.
that.
I think it
But
is.
yeah, it is bonkers.
Wow. Okay.
Something happened in the most recent sub episode, which I guess is maybe 9. I'm not lying to myself.
It should be more. It should be like 12 or 11.
Maybe it is.
8 is the last dub.
But something, you know, the one girl in the school that was getting, she's kind of the one
frog chick,
kid.
Fropey?
No,
Okay.
she got dragged around by that chick, the short-haired
with
blonde
the ears,
girl.
with the weird animal ears.
No,
No,
she just has short blonde hair. She's the one whose footmark was on the ceiling.
Oh, got you.
Because she's not as adept at climbing as that other kid.
I thought she was a boy until like later.
I did too.
I thought she
I'm
was a boy.
I'm pretty sure it's a girl.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it is.
Something happens to her that you will be like, what? Okay. And then prior to that, So let me ask you this: the kids in the school? I know they're hard to remember. We don't know their names.
Yeah,
Fine.
I remember
But
their
there's
powers though.
one. There's one
Like.
boy that
With the
has
bowl
like
cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
He the drawer?
No.
He's not a drawer. Okay.
No.
So there's a bowl cut boy, and then there's like the dopey little girl, not the fropey girl, but there's
That's
a brown haired girl.
Ears. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a scene. Have you seen? There's a scene.
I know what you're gonna say. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know about that.
Because how the hell did you not tell me about? That's a weird.
I didn't want to spoil it.
That's what this show is for.
I didn't. No, not before you watched it. I did, because that was a big thing.
Bro, it's me. You gotta give me the middle of the steak for me to eat the rest of the steak, bro.
Wait,
I need to know.
Just so we're clear, you're talking about. So this was an episode with a doctor. There was a post-credit scene. With those two characters.
This is a few episodes. I don't know if it was post-credit or not, but there's an awkward conversation. Well, hold on. There's an awkward conversation where he's talking about like he wants to keep her in his room. Have you heard that conversation?
Who said that? Who said that?
The gray-haired guy is describing. He's telling the girl, and he clearly has feelings for her, right?
Yeah.
But because they're preteens, it's like super awkward.
Yeah.
So he's telling her, he's like, sometimes I want to like take you and keep you to myself in my room. And I was like, huh?
I think I have seen that part.
And she's like, so?
Yeah.
And he's like, but I don't know if you'll like that. Like, it's very creepy. And I'm just like, how do you not mention this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I probably just glazed over that part. I'm not gonna lie.
So there's stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff like that. And then I think maybe one episode beyond that.
Did you see the episode with the doctor who killed himself? Because there's a big reveal in that episode.
What did he look like?
Gray hair. Tall, kind of pale eye patch.
The guy who he traded his eye to the little girl.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That episode and the end post credits of that episode was the one I did not want to spoil because it seemed pretty big.
With the blonde haired girl. I watched this in a chunk, so that's why my memory might not be clear. Is that what that character, the same character I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, then we might be we're probably talking about the same thing. That there is possibly.
Just say it. It's fine.
There's a bun in the oven.
Bun in the oven. When they're teenagers, you're saying.
Who's they? I'm talking about the kids in the school. I'm not talking about Maru and Kikuro. I'm not talking about our traveling characters. I'm talking about the kids in the school at current in the white outfits.
Okay. No, I don't remember. It's been a while.
Then I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and look at the post credits of the one you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not gonna say anything.
Pay special attention to the gray-haired doctor with the eye patch and what is said in the post credits, and the girl in the bandages that is killed by what's his name with the power to kill monsters.
Because it wasn't the words coming up on the tablet, was it?
That's not that important.
Okay. That was just her saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll double check that.
Okay.
The other thing, the thing that I want you to look out for when you go back to the dub.
Okay.
I swear to you, I'm just gonna flat out say I swear to you, there's a character that only certain people are seeing, and it was driving me nuts.
What's he look like?
It didn't look human.
He's like floats. He has the bald head. He looks like
yes. What the hell is that?
That's a human. That's the kid who. So you remember them earlier, a couple episodes ago? There's a kid who killed himself, committed suicide.
Yes,
that's him.
But why? Like why? And why is there more than one? Did you notice that there was more than one?
I don't know.
There's like a little one. There was a little one holding hands with that little girl.
So
and I'm like, what are these things?
Sometimes I can't tell if they're jumping back and forth in time, or if like certain characters are remembering stuff. But I know for a fact the alien looking kid with the gray skin is the same kid who they were all sad about. He killed himself.
But did you notice everyone can't see that kid?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're like remembering him or seeing visions. That part I'm really not sure about.
See, I think the only people that we explicitly see flashbacks from are the traveling characters. Okay. I don't think we've seen any backwards time with those kids.
Okay.
I think that's all present.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll have to. Yeah,
I'm like, because yeah, when you first see the blonde haired kids like talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, so and so," and then the camera sees him. The camera sees him talking to nothing, and I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, so the kids see it, but not the adults, whatever. But
yeah.
then a there's I think they're outside, and
Mm,
one of the kids is talking to the alien, but the other kids are like, "Who the hell are you talking to?"
yeah,
And I'm like, but then one other kid talks to it, so I'm like, so some of the kids can see it. And then
yeah,
it's like floating in the sky at the end
yeah.
of that.
No, it's
Like what
weird.
the hell is this?
It is weird. Yeah, it's weird. It could be a bunch of different things. But I do know at this point, I'm pretty sure, I don't know that they've said it, but I'm pretty sure these kids have powers.
Yeah,
Each one of them has a different like power.
That kid jumping off of that thing,
Yeah.
pretty much. And then that one kid saying, "So and so used to be able to throw this rock."
Yeah.
And it was like a boulder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That
so
pretty much confirmed it for me.
I don't know if the one alien looking kid, because I don't know why I'm focusing on his bald head. Maybe he has like weird psychic after death powers. Like,
bro, it's like
an alien. He looks like
it's really
E.T.
hard not to focus on.
Yeah, he looks like
and
E.T.
he has weird little wings. It's weird.
Yeah, so
this show is.
There's something weird about him for sure.
What is this show? Where are we going?
And you saw the part too, because I don't think I talked to you about this part yet. The kid with the liver spots all over his body that had the unnamed disease. When he died, there was like a weird egg or something left over on the table that he died on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm like, is that just Monster Baby? Like, what is that? Why is there just a weird shell?
That's his
there?
Reincarnation.
It's his real form.
Born again.
Yeah. So I'm like, there's a lot going on.
That's like, I kind of skipped over the bear episode, like, because I feel like I kind of seen that twice.
It was kind of fillery, that episode.
But yeah, so yeah, that show's stuff. I didn't think that would be the show that I'd be like.
Yeah, I know. So much weirdness and mystery. Yeah.
I think Golden Kamuy is back up and running. I just got to get back on it. I hate dipping in, then it's just gonna stop. It drives me nuts.
I know.
And then the last thing, did we miss anything? Was that it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Go ahead. You go.
I watched Battle Game in 5 seconds. It was kind of mid.
It's mid, right?
It's mid. Yeah, it's mid.
It's random as hell, and that part makes it interesting. But then it's like it's not going anywhere. Yeah. You're like, where are we going? No.
Yeah. And it feels generic.
Scummier characters.
It feels like a budget version of Darwin's Game. You know what I mean? Like, so it was whatever.
But I like it. That's the one where the kid like straight up just like lies, and he's like, "My power.
This is my power." Yeah.
And then it's like, "Oh, your power is the power to get people to believe what your power is."
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, they're trying to do some like light, like mind games, like deception type of things. I see what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's been done better before. I think is the only problem.
That was I do remember that was stupid.
Yeah.
He like killed a guy with like a gun that didn't exist.
Yeah. And now everybody thinks that gun is his, so now he can just whip it out when they're watching him. It was kind of.
But then he can't do it if it is in front of somebody who thinks he had a different power.
Yeah.
So fuck it up.
Yeah.
I remember that part.
He was in a couple bad situations because of that. Yeah.
All right. But beyond that, all I wanted to do was share, because my friend was insistent that I share that we watched. I think this fits in Anime Corner. We watched to prepare for Fast and Furious 10.
Oh my God.
We watched Fast and Furious 9, or F9, as it's colloquially called on the internet. F9, bro.
These movies are never gonna. Yeah, I know it's the Avengers, right?
But it was so
with cars.
Good. Yeah, it's so good. So stupid.
Can't believe these movies are as far as they've. And when you really sit down and think, I don't know how much you remember from Fast and Furious 1 through 3, but just take a second to think and just compare where the movies are now versus where they started.
They went to space again.
Did they?
And when they were in space again, I laughed because I was like, they used to steal DVD VCR combos.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the one where Tyrese is just like, we're superheroes.
Yeah, literally.
Like in the movie, he's just like, we're invincible, we're superheroes.
Literally.
Like, how else can you explain the fact that we never die?
There's gonna be a multiverse here soon.
There's a scene
time travel
where Tyrese drives like one of those like bunker tank cars
Yeah.
in a field of landmines, and all of the people chasing them like scared because they're like not driving in there. This motherfucker drives through a field of landmines. The truck gets blown up, lands upside down. It's sitting on a ridge over a landmine.
Oh my god!
Your boy falls out of the truck and hangs inches from the landmine. And then he runs. He's running from underneath of it, and the truck flips over, hits the landmine.
Jesus Christ!
Blows behind him, and they're just looking at him like, how the, like they were like, how are you alive?
Yeah.
How are you alive? Because the truck actually like lands on him, or you think it lands on him. He comes out from behind it, and they're just like,
bruh, what the plot armor? Oh, I'm just turning my light on.
It's so stupid.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it
really
is
gonna be time traveling here soon by Fast 15.
But the level to which they build up, like, okay, so John Cena is Dom's little brother, from that one time when Dom used to work on the racetrack, and he ran the pit for his dad when their dad was racing.
Yeah.
And because we've never fucking seen this flashback before, but that totally happened.
Yeah.
And the younger brother didn't check some kind of fuel line or something, brake line or something.
Mm-hmm.
The dad's car blew up on the track.
Oh my god.
And then Dom and the brother had a race to determine if that was true.
Yeah.
If that was the true events that had occurred. And then his brother lost, so he just had to keep driving at the end of the race.
Yo.
Like
that's nuts.
Dom wins the race and his brother's like, ah! And he just keeps driving.
Yeah.
It's like, you can never come back. You have no home here anymore.
What the heck? This is wild.
And Dom's childhood takes place somewhere between 1952 and 1970, because
just someplace.
They look like the brother's haircut looks like he's from Greece. Like every time they cut to the pit scene, I'm like, is this Greece? Are we gonna like
let's break out in a song and dance? Yeah.
Like, oh,
that's funny.
But yeah, it's too comical. Like the levels.
Oh, they know. Like, they're leaning in. They're in the lean in stage.
Dom uses his car like an extension of his body. He will use his car midair to like knock things out of trajectory to like fix things.
Yeah. I knew we were here when, I forget which movie it even was, but when they were driving on the side of skyscrapers as they were falling, and then like jumped off of the falling skyscrapers into like a helicopter hook.
Yes. Oh, that totally happened. So John, in the very first action scene, John Cena's character drives off a fucking cliff, and you're like, no way.
What's gonna catch him?
Like, yeah, you think like wings or some shit are gonna come out, but no, like a plane with a magnet is like, and then, like,
my god.
The confidence with which he drove off the cliff, like, I'm gonna live. You're like,
I'm good. I do this all the time. Oh my
and so
god.
my friend told me that the next movie, 10, Jason Momoa, they said the way they introduced.
Why wouldn't he be?
They said the way they introduce his character is like they show a bunch of stills from previous movies, and they just Photoshop him in the background.
That's funny. In the movie they do this? That's ridiculous.
So like that's their way of explaining how he's been here all along.
Oh my god.
They said he just photoshopped.
Nah, they're clowns for that. They're jokes for that.
Me and my friend were joking that his whole like premise for it being in the movie is that he has been in the collateral damage of all the other movies.
That's his villain origin story?
Yeah, like he was in the collateral damage from the TV DVD combos.
Oh my god.
He was there in another car when Han's car flipped. He's like getting hit.
He's getting battered up. Oh my god.
So we were like, he was on the highway when they jumped that tank.
Made him late for like a job interview or something.
So we were like, he spent the last 9 movies like building an arsenal.
Oh my god!
Against the Fast and Furious.
I'm putting this nonsense to an end. Where are the police? when you need them. All this reckless driving.
But yeah, it looks like Jason Momoa is really hamming it up. He's doing the
I'm sure.
He's doing the like Colombian cartel, like I'm wearing a lot of beige linen, and standing on cliffs and like laughing.
Because my thing with Jason Momoa is he doesn't look like a real human.
Neither does John Cena. He looks like
he doesn't
plastic
either.
action figure.
100%. Yeah, he doesn't either. So it's like if I were to ever see any of these people in real life, one, they would stand out so much, and two, I'd just be like, is that even a human? Like, is that even a person that exists? Or is that like a character that's implanted into the real world?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No,
The Rock
John
too.
Cena looks
I
like
put The Rock there too, to be honest.
I just feel like he's so much bigger than I think he is. And I would just be
he is. You know he's like 7 feet tall. 500 pounds of pure muscle.
Oh my God. But that's only when he's blown up.
Yeah. When he's right before a shoot.
When the veins are popping.
Right before a shoot.
But yeah,
nuts.
I think that's it for me. That's all I had.
Wow. Are you a John Wick fan too? Oh, okay.
That's not my thing.
I was about to say, those movies feel like
that
too.
The first movie was fun.
Yeah.
But the gimmick died quickly after that for me.
Got you. Because I'm like, I put those movies and like Transformers and like a couple of, maybe not Transformers because it's way more like supernatural. Yeah. But like, this is like a category of like action movie, but it's like we're leaning into the shenanigans like as much as we can.
It's the best. It's like car based shenanigans.
Yeah, just raw fun. Like we don't care about nothing else, just raw fun. Like,
no, my favorite John Wick style movie is like it's like Liam Neeson Taken movies. Yeah. Those are like my favorite.
The later Takens even got ridiculous, like in that same sense where
I got your wife and your daughter now.
And he's murdering just legions of people. Just legions.
I was like, stop letting your family travel. Yeah. Period. Yeah.
He was the Nathan Drake of the movie
buildings
world.
Of dudes.
Yeah. That's funny.
No, I want another Judge Dredd. But yeah, Fast and Furious can go on for the next 10 years for all I'm concerned.
It's never stopping. Never.
This 10 way back when 6 was coming out.
Yeah.
10 was supposed to be the proposed ending. It was supposed to be like trilogy, and then there's supposed to be like the end.
Yo. I don't know if you've seen this clip.
That's why they're calling it the Fast Saga.
I don't know if you've seen the clip, but Ludacris did an interview. He was like, people keep asking why we keep making these movies. And he was like, if every movie costs whatever million to make, and they all of them make at least like $20 billion, why would we stop? That's literally what he said. He was like, why would we stop? So that tells me these movies are never stopping. He said, and like usually actors aren't that honest about it. Like we're making it because y'all keep watching it. But he was
that's
just
the
straight
problem
up like,
too. Is like, the drama was between The Rock, I think, and Diesel, and The Rock is gone. Yeah,
I didn't know they had real life beef.
When Hobbs and Shaw delayed 7, I think, and Hobbs and Shaw was like The Rock and Jason Statham.
Yeah,
but it was a spinoff from 6.
Yeah,
but Vin Diesel, of course, he's like, this is my franchise.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna have The Rock hyping up his own spinoff over the main franchise. So yeah, they had like and they said on set there was kind of like a tension between them.
They said Rock was getting more spinoffs though, like Hobbs and Shaw style spinoffs.
He didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah,
people like him.
That's true.
But yeah, it's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, it's like that's his thing.
He's arrogant.
And it's like, you're not gonna come in and take my thing, bald muscular guy.
Other bald muscular guy. That's hilarious.
I'm like, watch 6 again.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers go at it in that
really
movie.
Okay.
And the Rock makes Vin Diesel look so little.
I know. Vin Diesel's not a small dude either. Like, I don't know how tall he is, but
he's
a buff
dude.
Yeah. No, The Rock is different.
But yeah, when I told my friend, I was like, The Rock breaks a cement bench over his knee, son. If there's no other reason to see the movie, that's the reason. And he fights someone with a giant pipe wrench.
I believe it. I believe it. The movies are nuts, yeah.
I love those big garbage movies. And then nuts. My family. You threaten my family.
My family.
I'm serious. Listen, if you really listen to the dialogue in these movies,
Oh, I'm sure it's horrible. I mean, like, it can't be any like worse or better than Marvel, right? Like,
You could just put it on like you could superimpose the quote on the background of like a sunset,
yeah,
and it's like a shitty Instagram post.
yeah. Like,
Everything Vin Diesel says.
this is the MCU for people who don't like superpowers or supernatural stuff. They're like, oh, I like grounded movies. They're gonna watch Fast and Furious instead of
I like grounded movies where we drive cars
grounded.
into space.
Yeah.
That's what they used the Tokyo Drifts dude for in 9. They brought them back because they were the Asian and Little Bow Wow, who also back? He hangs out and lives with him in Japan.
That's funny.
And then the white guy, Sean, what's his name, Sean? I can't remember. The white guy who drives in Tokyo Drift. They're building rocket cars in Tokyo. That's what they're doing by the 9th movie.
Well, preview of the next movie coming soon. Rocket cars.
No, that's what happened. They used the rocket cars in 9 to get to space.
Okay. Oh
they have to go see a man about a car to get to space.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm like, no. Don't use the government's help to get to space.
Use our homies from Tokyo.
Go use the kid that drove like the shitty Honda.
Our homie street drag racers from Tokyo.
Oh, bad.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I just wanted to share that. That's all.
Wow.
You're welcome.
What a franchise, man.
Everybody go watch 9, get ready for 10.
What a franchise. Nuts.
Money made.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Tiz doesn't have anything else,
that's all I got.
You all are welcome to tweet at us at @SRClash_pod on the Twitters. And of course, you can always email us at siblingrivalryclash@gmail.com. You can even leave us a comment in iTunes or, wherever else you listen, whether it be Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, CastBox, and I'm sure there's some other places that we have not updated.
Mail. I take mail.
Where are they sending that mail?
I'm not telling them that. You just gotta figure it out.
You gotta get a P.O. box.
Put it in a bottle. Put it in the ocean. I'll get it.
Oh, that was gonna be my reference. I was like, F9 had like One Piece level flashbacks. Where it's like, let's just show you this old piece of footage.
The whole scene, directly from the old movie. Oh my God.
But anyway,
that's funny.
Yeah, if we miss anything, you guys know where to reach us and give us that feedback we need to live. Here, you guys have to feed this thing. She's been pawing at me the whole time.
She's about to limp noodle it.
Feed her.
We gotta raise money to get her a new eye.
Just get her an eye patch. She'll be alright.
Yeah.
Who needs depth perception? It's fine.
It's overrated. You know how many anime characters win fights without it? Easy.
Yeah, if we get her an eye patch, she'll level up like 50 levels.
Yeah. Kakashi beat half of his enemies with his eyes covered. With one eye. Crazy.
All right, y'all. We will be back. 100% we'll be back next week. Right? No. Yeah, we'll be here. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Most likely.
Look at the calendar real quick. Hurry.
I know next weekend is the weekend I'm traveling home.
Oh, well, no. Sunday is... You're not going home on the 11th.
No, I'm sorry. We'll not next weekend.
Next week we'll be here.
Next weekend. My bad. Yeah. That's next weekend. I had the dates mixed up.
Maybe we can pressure Tiz into watching Oshinoko in 5 days.
Pressure the studio into making a dub. Because what this tells me.
Just watch a YouTube recap of it in English. Let someone tell you what's happening.
I might do that.
Because by the time you get to it, no one's going to care anymore.
I know. Man, dude, shout out my dub watchers, yo. Dub Nation.
What happened to simuldubs? Is anything being... Well, I know... no, that's not even being simuldub.
Nothing's being
anything being simuldub?
Not
even Hell's Paradise?
No. Simuldub? No.
I guess I gotta go support Crunchyroll with the subscription.
I think Toei and Funimation and all them just gave up on the simuldub after that 1.5 a year of trying it with like 2 shows. It's so sad.
They did it with My Hero.
Half. Remember they stopped halfway through the season and they were like, all right, it's too much work.
People getting sick, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
One day, the more dubs y'all watch, the closer we get to the simuldub future.
If they didn't have to do localization, they just let them read the subs.
Heavenly Delusion, I was looking online at why the dub was delayed, and somebody was like, they just sent the materials late, but we're still putting the episode out.
Well, that's why I'm like, it's a bunch of 20-year-olds running that shit. Let's not pretend.
Probably. There's probably some sub fan at the sub studio who's like, I'm gonna send this stuff late on purpose so the dub comes out late. Sabotage them.
It's either that or it's a bunch of 50-year-olds who have no idea what they're working on. They're just like,
just cranking out.
I work on television programming for youths. It's a bunch of what they call anime.
Yeah. Especially voice actors, because you know how voice actors don't be knowing what they're acting for because it's got to be a secret so they don't leak it.
But that doesn't happen so much in anime. Yeah. I feel like they're usually like our age and amped about being a voice actor.
Probably.
Yeah. But I just love the idea of like an old person being like pushing out like Sailor Moon and like not really caring about it.
What it is. Oh,
kind of like
so sad.
No, like the Elden Ring dude who's like, I'm never gonna play this. I hate it.
Oh, George. Right? Yeah.
No, George.
No. Not George.
George can't find time to play. The dude who's the guy who made it? It was like
not not the main guy.
It was an Asian guy. It might have been. It was somebody high up, and he was just like, "Yeah, I hate it."
I believe it though. I definitely believe that though.
And I was like, I love the idea of like constructing this thing that you just absolutely have no interest in, and everyone is obsessed with.
This isn't the everyone's obsessed case, but this is like the opposite. Everyone hated it. But that game Redfall that came out, it also came out that the people at the studio were like, please cancel this game. People above us, like they really wanted them to like cancel this game.
Oh no.
Because they knew it was going to be so bad.
It was a cool idea though. I hate when
they're like, please, dear God, cancel this game. We don't want to get blamed for this when it comes out.
Bad.
I know. It's rough. It's rough out here.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Well, until next week, we'll see you.
Peace out.